Okay, as you can see, we've dragged in. Let's have a look. Get the light on. We've got ourselves the front end of a facelifted Mark III. I'm using that for the scuttle panel and bulkhead parts. I got this from Tibbs off the forum, Ford Cortina forum. I've pulled the top of the scuttle off now by drilling all the spot welds across, and there's some tricky areas just where it meets the pillars. You've just got to cut the braze join here, and there's a few little tricky little manoeuvres just around that side there, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward. It's triple thickness here. You've got your dashboard. This is on the facelift anyway. I'm not sure if the pre-facelift one. Hold on a sec, I'll just knock the radio down a touch.
I'm going to play something, and this is
right, what was I saying? Yeah, not sure on the first model, Mark 1, where the dash comes out as one unit and doesn't have that lip, but it obviously has the lip on these ones. So you've got the dash lip, then the lower scuttle panel which holds the wiper motor assembly, then the outer scuttle. Got to drill through all three of those. I'm now just going to retrieve this. I'm just unbolting the wiper brackets, taking them off there. So, and then there's a support pillar there. Drill off. I want to get to the bulkhead really and to use the part. There's the scuttle that we took off. So that's going to go on this one. We're doing that rather than the rear end because I'm waiting for a quarter panel for there and some parts, so I've switched to the front for now. I'm going to make this in case anyone else is mad enough to do what I'm doing, other than Mike from Wigan, who's already done it better than me. If you're ever changing this, if you're crazy enough to be doing your inner scuttle, I wish there was something on the internet that showed us where all the spot welds are. I've had to learn the hard way. There's some in this corner here, that's the top of the wing rail. Some on the pillar, forward windscreen pillar coming down. Nice little row of them there. Look, you've got a cluster of 4 there. Just got to look as closely as you can for the little indentations. There's sometimes just no clues, and you've just got to feel your way along with a screwdriver and just look, see where the metal's bending, and then try and pinpoint it, and then just get the drill in and get them popped out and just keep working your way along. That's all I can suggest. But for the inner scuttle, there's none that way. They're all in this corner, and obviously along the dashboard edge. So yeah, let's keep on going. Let's see how we get on. Okay, that's both panels off. Tricky, but it went in the end. Don't give me too many of them to do. Oh. Anyway, there we go, and it just leaves the bulkhead. Actually, the dash doesn't flip up. The dash looks like it's spot welded along to the bulkhead through there, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't like to take the dash out of one of these. Oh dear me. Okay, so there we go. Take a look at this for rot. Big time. That's your scuttle lifted, and it's scary, that, isn't it? That's enough to write it off. That's just bad. That's just stupid. Okay, 2nd of January. Cleaned up the bulkhead area there, ready to take the bulkhead patch, which will now be cutting off this section here, ready for transplanting across to the bulkhead.
Release at the very tail end of last.
Okay, I've got a repair plate in that top section, that's all out there. Need to get the dash out now. It's the 2nd of Jan 2012. Updates. Worked out where I'm making the cut for the bulkhead. We are now going to try and take out the dashboard. Okay, I've got these lower bolts off. There's two bolts there. Hang on. Two there. I think there's one in the middle, but we've got to get through. We've got to get through the hazelnuts to find it. We got hazelnuts again in the dash. There's two bolts down there. I'm going to try and get this dashboard out. Get out there, you buggers. Okay, it's just a short video on 1973 pre-facelift, sorry, Mark III Cortina pre-facelift dash removal. I noticed a few people were asking around on the internet, on YouTube, and on a few of the Cortina sites, how do you get your dash out so you can do work on various areas around that, behind the dash. I've managed it. I've never taken one out before, but I thought, well, I'll document it, so if anyone's struggling, they can use this to help speed the job up. Right, first thing you've got to do to get your dash out is take the crash pad off. Okay, now my crash pad's off, obviously my dash is out, as you can see. I'm going to talk you through the steps. First I'm going to show you the crash pad, which is on the roof of my car, which I'm doing up. Here's my crash pad. Now, there's only one thing holds the crash pad in terms of what you're going to be removing, and that's this centre bolt. There's nothing else for you to remove on it. It's a question of just pulling the crash pad off, but you've got to get that bolt off first. That's a 5/16, I think. It's still on the end of my socket. I needed a socket, decent sized socket there, 7-inch bar on it. You go in behind, your radio's got to be out, and it's up by the speaker. There's a cutout by the speaker, and this is facing down, so if you look up with a torch you'll see this bolt there looking like that if you're looking up from under your radio. So let's see, this is the hang on, let's spin the crash pad round. So you've got, so there's the front. So I'm leaning across the centre console. My radio's here. I'm going to look up that way. My socket's going to go up that way. Got my torch, and then I'll see this poking down by the speaker, by the centre speaker, if you've got a centre speaker. So I'll screw that back on there now, actually. So yeah, just check your socket. That is a, can't see yet, 5/16. Okay, so away you go with that. I'm just going to tighten that up, because you know what it's like, you lose this stuff. Put that back on. Let's look at these clips. These are the dreaded clips. Look at that shape there. It squeezes into a square receptacle, so that compresses in as you push it, and then it pops back out. It's a quick release system, just for speed at the factory perhaps, I'm not sure. So then also you've got these clips which tang into place again in cutouts in the metal framework of your dash, and there's two more clips at the very end. So what I did to get this off, it was rusted on mine, yours may be also rusted on. See how those clips are rusted? Some of my clips snapped, they were just rusted into the receptacles. Nothing you can do. Start waggling the dash. Once you got that middle bolt off, I waggled the dash sort of up and forward, if you will, for these to come out. Up and forward, up and forward, and then it'll pop off. So your crash pad's off. That leaves you with 5 bolts along the top holding the dash in. One there, all the way along. They're easy to undo. They're just Phillips screw heads. Take them off or loosen them up ready. Then take off the 2 bolts that hold the heater slider controls in place, because that's going through it. So that's going through it here. Then you've got where your handbrake, well, sorry, not your handbrake, where your bonnet release catches. I know this is a right-hand drive car, but the left-hand drive still keep the brackets in both. It serves as a pull handle and as a bolt for the dash, with 2 bolts at the bottom of your dash there. Mine were rusted solid, so what I did, you might be okay, but I used these more lockable pliers. Whenever you get a bolt that's just not coming out, that's the one that wouldn't come out. I managed to lock the pliers on it, and use the pliers once I pinched the head of the bolt and just slackened it off. That got it out without it actually sheared in the end, but still, at least it got it off. So 2 at the bottom there in that footwell, 2 on that side. Obviously that is your bonnet release cable for the right hand drive owners, so that will then loosen the bottom of the dash up. Then you've got a 13mm head bolt there. Now here's your radio, so it's just, you take your radio out, it's just behind your radio. Just slacken that, because the receptacle is just a slit or a slot, whatever you want to call it. Hang on, there, so it's behind where the radio goes. So you loosen the 13, dash can then slide off that. You've undone these at the top, you've undone those 2 there, and you've undone your heater controls. Then that dash will come out. Then what you've got to do then is undo this pink wire which bolts the cigarette lighter in, if you've got a cigarette lighter, because that will start to pull the loom out. And then undo your wiring to your switches, your hazard lights if you've got hazards, your headlights, obviously we've all got them, and then I think the heated rear switch, if you've got that, just undo those cables. That's it for wires, I think. Oh yeah, I had the glove box out when I did mine. I think it's easy with the glove box out on those 2 screws. It gives you a bit more room. Glove box and radio out, and then it came out over the steering wheel, and that was it. I didn't take my steering wheel off, so I don't need to take your steering wheel off. Oh yeah, also I took off the heater ducting as well. I didn't know if I had to actually do that, but it's just when I was looking around underneath here, because I didn't know what I was doing at first. I was just taking as many stuff out under the dash as you could, but I don't think that's necessary. I think if you just do those ones that I said. So summing that up, let's count how many fixings there are for you to undo. This doesn't include the spring operated fixings, just the physical fixings which we'll be removing. You've got on your brackets at the bottom 1, 2, and on the other side 3, 4. So there's 4. 2 for the heater, that's 6. 5 on top there for 11. The centre crash pad one for 12, and then the cigarette lighter 13. We need one more for good luck, but I don't think there is one. That means none of your dashes will come out. Right, that's it. Hope that helps. Get your dash out of your car. Taking mine away now. This is one of the clips that snapped off. It's a quick little update on the video. You can see how that's sheared there. That's what fits in the square one. I don't think there's any way I could have prevented that. Could you squeeze them from the back to help them come out? I don't know, because you can't really get your hand up there, so you've no choice but to just gently pry that crash pad up. Perhaps a screwdriver wrapped in a cloth or something so you don't damage it. There was a flasher unit, and it looked like a headlamp relay or some kind of relay was here, so I've undone that and put the screws back in. So there's a few more wires, but I think you've worked them out anyway. That's the dash finished. Date with the dash out, I now can remove the rest of the fittings, plastic fittings, because we're going to be welding here now and we didn't want any damage, so these plastic fittings, heater ducts, they'll come out. There it goes. I'm going to put these screws back into the fittings because we will lose them. There they are. That's not seen the light of day since 71. Well, my gloves are finished. I'm going to take these gloves off. I'm not going to do much use of it. I look like something out of Michael Jackson's Thriller. Right. Get that off. There we go, that's out. Look at that, a shiny piece of metal. Must be the only clean piece of metal I've seen in the whole car. So, what we're going to do, well, I've double plated that. It's a very strong fix now. Ready. Dress that up there. Ready to receive the bulkhead piece, and then finally after that, this would fit in. That's your inner scuttle. We need to clean that up first. That'll be fitting on there, and then the whole lot goes back together once I've done the repair on that side, of course. For now, because I'm working my way down this car, I'm not even touching that side at the moment. All I'm going to do is fix this bulkhead here with a part, as I said earlier, from that, and then work my way along and get to the back. So I shall go and cut the piece out from that car, or I'll now just reassess the possibility of taking out the whole bulkhead. I don't think I'm going to do. No, I'm not. I'm just going to patch it. So patch is going in there in a minute. I'm going to go and cut that now.
Excellent album. Here's the answer, and Caught on the Riverbed.
Okay, we've got the scuttle panel roughly clipped in position there, just lining the ribs up on the front. And then we've cut it oversized, the patch, so that the actual final size is determined by the cutout in here. So there's, you can see that cutout I've made. Patch is oversized, so now we spray paint the back of this, and that'll give us the mark points to cut the panel on. It's going flush fit, so it's got to be really accurate cut now to make this panel fit flush. And then we've got to try and get some welds in there. I'm going to possibly use backing plates here and make some tabs so that it sits flush, or I might try joggling the outside of the panel and cutting slightly oversized for the joggle. Let's just see how the joggler works. It might not. I've not tried that technique because it's curved. It's difficult to joggle on the curve, I think. It'll be the first time I've done it. Anyway, I'll spray mark this up now. Okay, I've cut the panel to shape, just slightly overlapping and underlapping in places. I'm going to just work that in with the welds and the cuts. Just cut a couple of spots in there. We've punched out the rim to fit on there. Some spots in now. Just ready to do another spot there, and then we'll start to attach that piece in.